all of our tests are blood tests, and we use we have now at-home capillary collection devices, so you don't need the traditional venipuncture or phlebotomy.
All right, welcome back inside our proactive newsroom. And joining me now is Jonathan Cohen. He is the CEO of 2020 BioLabs. And in fact, Jonathan's joining us from the lab, as a matter of fact. And Jonathan, it's good to see you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Steve. Thank you for having me this morning.
Yeah, you're at your facility right now?
I am. So we are a clinical lab testing company. We're based just outside of our nation's capital in Washington, D.C. And behind me is one of several labs that we have here, several instruments. And we're licensed to receive, process, and report blood tests, human blood samples. And we've historically focused on early cancer detection. We now have a new test for longevity.
Yeah. Tell me a bit about the One Test platform and how it all got started.
Sure. So we were one of the first companies in the United States to introduce something called an MCED, which stands for multi-cancer early detection. And one test for cancer is used to screen for cancers that are otherwise not screened for. So historically, in the U.S. and in North America, we typically screen for really 3 or 4 cancers: breast cancer for women, cervical cancer for women, prostate cancer for men, and only for heavy smokers, former smokers, lung cancer. And our product is useful for detecting at early stages lung cancer, pancreas cancer, liver cancer, and several other cancers as well. Ovarian, we do very well with ovarian as well.
Yeah, is it all based blood-wise? Is that how it works?
Yes, all of our tests are blood tests, and we use we have now at-home capillary collection devices, so you don't need the traditional venipuncture or phlebotomy. So you don't have to schedule an appointment with either your doctor's office or the big lab chains like Quest and LabCorp. You can actually do painlessly testing at home or the workplace.
I would imagine, Jonathan, that you're seeing a big uptick in, the population is aging, and we've heard the rates of cancer that happen in the US and really all over the world. And are you seeing a big uptick in people that want to, because they say if you get it early, a lot of it can be treated.
Absolutely. And we're seeing results. So I just got back last week. We were at the largest trade show in North America for fire departments. Now, why were we at a fire department trade show? So a big part of our customers base for the last couple of years have been firefighters, because they have proven high incidence and death for a variety of cancers. And we service 300 or 400 fire departments. And what was very rewarding, I was only at the booth for a short period of time. Every half hour or so, somebody came over to us, and we, like I said, we can do blood collections on exhibit hall floors easily. And people that got tests last year or the year before said, "Oh, I used your test, and I detected early stage stomach cancer, which is something that's almost never caught early, or early stage prostate cancer." So and many of them believe that we saved their lives. So that's very rewarding. So we are really poised in the next few years to scale to the broad population. A few months ago, the U.S. Congress passed a law to make it easier for Medicare to reimburse multi-cancer tests, which is pretty remarkable. Bipartisan, overwhelming support, Democrats and Republicans, which we don't see very often in Washington.
Yeah, that stuff, you talk about the early detection and it saves lives, but it also saves money as well, because people are getting it early and they're not in the hospital system. So it makes a lot of sense for government to sort of back something like this. And I know you recently, I was reading on your website, you just signed to launch on the Avexia platform, which opened you up to about 40,000 users. I mean, this sounds like it's really starting to get a lot of uptick.
Yeah, we're excited about that deal. This opens they're very big in a segment of healthcare providers called functional medicine doctors. It's not a market we had been in heretofore. So this gets us in front of functional medicine doctors, which are typically very big on biomarker testing. You mentioned cost savings. So I want to point out that our sister product, One Test for Longevity, which measures biomarkers of inflammation, chronic inflammation, is good not only for the consumer, but for employers, because chronic inflammation is a big contributor to most common diseases like heart disease, cancers, even dementia and Alzheimer's disease and mental health and mood swings. So we think it's going to be useful to keep people, in the workplace, not missing too many days, not going to too many doctor's appointments or making urgent care visits. So that'll be a big, the economics around that product are very, very compelling.
Yeah. Jonathan, as we wrap up here, just give me some thoughts on what's ahead this year. What are sort of things that you're focusing on for the rest of 2026?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we are beginning, because of this legislation, and there's a related government initiative that CMS rolled out just a month or two ago under the Make America Healthy Again banner, where they're creating an on-ramp for innovative products that may reduce chronic disease in seniors. So for both products, there has emerged almost out of thin air a pathway for Medicare reimbursement. We are going to be, in addition to growing our business organically, as we have been, we are going to be focused on a program that will help us get to Medicare reimbursement. And for investors and shareholders, there's an important message I want to make sure people understand. We are a unique opportunity that has, in some respects, the upside of a biopharmaceutical deal. Very high risk. Drug development is high risk, high reward, with the downside risk of a kind of a med tech, medical device diagnostics play, which is already growing revenues. So if we are successful in getting Medicare reimbursement, we will see a dramatic spike in revenues. And the model for that is a company called Exact Sciences that was recently acquired by Abbott, Exact Sciences, for over $20 billion. They went from about $2 million in revenue in 2013, most of 2014. And in late 2014, they got Medicare reimbursement. And their revenue spiked dramatically the next year to over 30 million and then 90 million. And it was more or less tripling every year for every year thereafter. It was extraordinary because of that Medicare reimbursement for the product Cologuard, which many of your viewers have probably heard of, some may have used for colon cancer detection. And that's a great model for us. So we think that with these new lanes that have been opened up by the US government in the last few months, we're going to be, on the one hand, seeking Medicare reimbursement, which is the home run, if you will, for shareholders, while continuing to build our core business, our existing business of high-risk people and employers and so on and so forth, which is, a solid business for our shareholders. So we think we offer a unique best of both worlds opportunity.
Yeah, important work for sure. Jonathan, thank you so much. Really great to get an update on where you're at, and look forward to continue to follow that story, especially the Medicare part of it. I think that's really fascinating. So appreciate your time today, and thanks very much.
Thank you, Steve.
All right, there's Jonathan Cohen, the CEO of 2020 BioLabs.